Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our celebration for our USPS folks and new ones, old ones, returning ones, everybody. I'm Wanda M. Johnson, President, CEO Preempt, joined by the Preempt team. Susan, um, Susan Vandenbroek to my right, and Susan is our project manager as well as our USPS expert, proposal expert. Yeah. She, along with me, we work together to prep people. And then we have the lovely Brenda Curry up there on the left side. Brenda's our HR marketing. And what else? What else I call you, Brenda? Just general all around.
Technician.
Technician. Yeah, technician. Technology, you name it. That's Brenda. And then we have Dorian is off camera today. She's feeling a little under the weather. So, hey, Dorian.
Hey,
Hey,
Dorian.
Wanda.
Yeah,
Dorian, feel better.
I think
Thank you.
most of you guys have, somebody sat there in the waiting room. I thought I'd let everybody in. Let's see. Okay, here. Yep. Um, you, let's see. I see participants. Brenda, you see the waiting room or anything?
I don't see anybody in it though.
I don't either. She must have the wrong link. Yes, I'm gonna tell Danny. Let's see. Think you have the wrong link. You, yeah. Let's see newsletter. Okay, and yeah, that's odd. She says she's in the waiting room. Not, yeah, that must be another one. Okay, let's see. Yep. She says here, it says, yep, it does say that. That's weird. I don't know why. It says she's in the waiting room, but I don't see anybody else in the waiting room. I think everybody's in. She says, yeah, participants. Let's see. Yep. Oh, here we go. We got Teresa and Rashida. I don't see her. That is odd. Yeah. Yep. Tell her try something. Yeah, try. Okay, there we go. All right. Hi, Rashida.
Hey, Wanda and everybody.
Good, good, good. Okay, so we got a few folks on here today. There's Danny. I've got, oops, let me reduce that. Okay, I'm just gonna say hi to everyone. We've got Regina. I just introduced the Preempt team. So let me introduce Regina Harris over there in Texas, right?
Okay. That is correct. 80 degrees.
80 degrees. All right. Boy, you guys in some nice warm places. Cool. All right. Then we have Sabrina Steinbeck. Hi, Sabrina.
Hello.
And she's in Arizona. And then we've got Corinne. And Corinne is in, that's right, she's in Florida. Corinne Rehos. I always botch the accent. So I just, people try to do that, like, and they really jack up people's names. All right. Rashida Smith. Rashida, where are you today?
I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia, but I just arrived in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, you down in Florida too.
Well, you're right down the street from me.
All right. Yeah, I want to go to Florida. Okay, Teresa is on the train. Yeah, you're in Philly, Teresa, right? Yeah, she's in Philly. Okay, cold like the rest of us. All right. And Rochelle's in sunny California. Yeah, and let's see. Oh, there's Danny. Hey, Danny. Danny Wilson. She's over in Maryland. Hey, Danny. Hello. Hello. Okay, so we just want to get together and just share some, information and whatnot with you guys. Laura could not attend, but she did send some good notes for you all that are about to go to the second stage of the Postal Service proposal process. So first, we just want to talk about, let's see, we got a mixed group here because we have people that are currently working with the Postal Service, and people that are about to go to the second part of proposal process, and then people that are interested in the Postal Service. Did I miss a group? Okay. All right. So let's start with the, let's see now. Well, let's congratulate the ones that have recently gotten their letter. Yay. Yes, yes. Congratulations, congratulations, you guys. Congratulations. And we know you're going to excel and, complete the next part successfully. So any questions you have, just let us know. Okay, so I felt that it's important to get people together because so that you will be adequately prepared. So let's, without further ado, let's get started. First thing I want to do is talk, let's see, Rashida, let's start with you because you went through the process in what, February?
Yes, yeah, it was the last week of February.
Okay, yeah, last week of February. Okay, what are your comments? This is for the for the new group here that's about to go to.
Okay, so I went through the last week of February. The medium score that you must have is 80. I made 76, 77, so I did not make it. It was a lot of information. I don't think it's hard. I just think that because I'm a new investigator, learning processes at other companies and learning the Postal Service at the same time, I kind of got a little mixed up, but it is a lot of information and it is coming to you like in a fire hose.
Water out of fire hose. That's what everybody says.
Now the caveat they're gonna keep telling you, well, you gotta retain the information, you gotta do the homework at night. They're gonna say if you make it through, then your analyst will help you. But the thing is making it through. Of course it's possible because people do it. I would just say just be fully present. Like I know me, I have a tendency to multitask. This ain't the place to multitask. This ain't the place to multitask. I would say put your phone in another room and focus because the way he goes, he don't want to repeat himself. And then when people are asking questions, it's just a lot of information coming at you at one time. So it's best to give it your full focus. And then I think with the full focus, success will be highly likely.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do it again. It may not be this time, depending on when I start my new job, but it will be sometime this year. So that's what I got to say. But I do got to say that I do see it showing up now that I'm doing my other investigations. Some of the stuff I learned from the Postal Service, I was like, oh, well, they said this, and that. So it's great information. It's just a lot of it.
Just a lot of it at one time. Okay, cool. All right, so that's a recent person. Let's see. Now, my graduates that currently have contracts. I'll start with, let's see, Corinne and then Rochelle, I believe. You two are the main ones doing that. Okay, how about you, Corinne?
I
Because you just started.
did pass the post office, but I was in the same class as Rashida at the end of February.
Okay.
But she is right. So if you pass the first part where you sent in when they ask the questions from the ROI and stuff like that. So I did the boot camp with you guys. And I want to say, because you get scored on that. I got a 97 from doing the boot camp.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Which one? Oh, the coaching thing we did?
Yes, the coaching.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So because
cool.
you got like, I think 3 days in or something like that, they told us the scores from that and the scavenger hunt. That's part of it and everything. And Rashida is right. Let me tell you something. I had to board my dog. Okay, so
that's what Rochelle said.
That was a couple other people said that too.
Because she's very needy and wants attention, so I had to board her. And they don't record, so you can go back. You have to pay attention. They give you breaks, and they have like as soon as the break is over, they're going in. If you miss something, they do not go back. The only time they go back is when they open it up for questions.
Oh, okay.
They open it up for questions. That's the only time they will repeat something or answer the question, but not give you the whole section you miss. So you have to take lots and lots of notes. You have assignments during the day, ungraded and graded. and you have homework, and homework is due 6 a.m. the next morning by 6 a.m. So yeah, so and then by Friday you are struggling. You are really struggling to keep up and pay attention. And then on Monday, I think by Rashida, you could correct me. By Monday and Tuesday, we weren't talkative. Everybody was
You're
like, "Let's
over
get
it.
through the day, okay?"
Just
Nobody
smiling
really
somebody.
had
Yeah.
the questions because the last couple days is other stuff like housekeeping things. If you got the contract, stuff like that. So right now I'm waiting for my background to clear. So they were so behind on sending the stuff ahead of time for the background. We all had to do this stuff. They send the stuff after we finished the class. So I got a certificate congratulating that I passed the class, and then now it's just waiting on the background. And when I talked to Sean, Sean Ikpa, he said it took him 3 months for his to clear.
Really? His
Yeah.
background check? Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
Okay.
and then the crazy thing is, and then actually I'm a subcontractor for another company, and the lady that I'm working with, she did the post office too. But like they say, not everybody is going to get contracts to do work for the post office. It's the other people that contract with them, other agencies. So it's kind of weird. You do all this training for the post office specifically, but then you get contracts for other agencies.
Yeah. So what you're talking about, the contract is with the Postal Service, but you do the work for the other agencies. Okay. So
Right.
yeah, yep. Just so that's clear. So you are right. So what do they call them? The inside and outside, external.
Unit.
Yes.
External
Thank
unit.
you.
That's where I
External.
signed. Yeah.
External.
Yes, external.
Yeah.
External is the other agencies
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
So
will
you're
be
still,
working with.
your contract is still with the EOCO, but you're doing work. You have an EO analyst from the EOCO, so you're just doing external agencies.
Cool.
Investigation.
Yeah. And EOSO is part of the Postal Service, USPS. We just
Right.
use it. Yeah. So you know that. Yeah.
So
But
once, let's say my background clears, then you
okay.
get 5 cases, and you have to pass those 5 cases with 85% each.
Okay.
Yes, they said like the first 2 will be like very easy cases. Then they'll have like one that is like hostile work environment will be third, and then they'll give you more detailed ones for your 4th and your 5th case.
Okay.
Then once
Cool.
so that's how they're doing it.
And so as you're working through those 5 cases, is your analyst also working with you, or you just?
So they'll give you like 2 at the first. They'll give you 1 after you do the IP, then they'll give you another one. So that way you have 2 cases you're working on, and then after one is submitted, then they'll give you the 3rd one like that, so you can still continue working, and you'll have the same person for those 5 cases that you'll work with.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. All right. All right. Cool. Very good comments. All right. So Corinne is the nouveau. The nouveau one. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk with my veterans here. We've got Rochelle and Felicia. All right, which one want to jump in first? Rochelle?
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay, go ahead, Rochelle.
Hold on.
Okay. Yes. Oh, she said, hold on. Okay, cool. There you go.
Sorry, one of my dogs decided to bark at the other dog.
She's one of the people that boarded her dogs during the.
I had 2 at that time. Now I have 3, including a rescue and trying to get adopted. But anyway, yes, I'm glad the other person mentioned it. Sorry, I forgot your name. But yes, if you have a dog,
Corinne,
if you have I heard with the other people who partake in the training with me, they had their spouses, they locked themselves in a room, they barely talk to them. So it is an intense training. It is wonderful training. It sounds like it's pretty much the same thing, but I want to add that once you get in, I was originally assigned to external. So I never touched a postal complaint except for during the training. And I was excited about that because that broadened my knowledge. Working with different agencies. And then also you have depending on the analyst. My analyst, who trained me during the time with the cases. I still have them to this day. And that's, and I'm not in training, of course. So that person would like to just schedule an assignment at a time. He does review your cases, your work, etc. And he did not give me, he was basically the type of person, an analyst, if there is an issue, like I wasn't on the pass, then he will let me know. Otherwise, then I just believe I passed. I didn't get a score or anything like that. I did talk to him about that. And he said, if I have an issue with you, I will let you know. But otherwise not, I passed and I did the 5 cases and I continued on. So it wasn't like, congratulations, you graduated or whatever. Do you want another case? That's how it was. So
cool.
I do have to, I eventually went on from doing GSAs and doing, what is that? Oh gosh, GSAs. A media one is Voice of America. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
And some other cases. So now I have to warn people about the cases if they are assigned to external agency. There's one agency that is just really backed up with cases, and they got special permission from the EEO where they are already past a regulatory deadline. And so I got cases that are like 2 or 3 years old that you're investigating. So
CBP. CBP.
Yeah, that's
CBP.
what it is.
I know. I told you, CBP. We had a contract with them years ago. I know. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, Dorian. Did you ever work with CBP? No, Dolores. Yes, you did. Did you? Dolores did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
Okay, Dolores did. Yeah. Dolores and Sally and somebody else. We had a whole bunch of CBP people working with us. But they're always backed up.
And I'm working with another vendor that has CBP. Actually, much better, but way better. That's the only issue I think is with NeoCell is great experience.
It is.
If you are a newbie to this area and NeoCell is your first and only contractor vendor, it will definitely give you a lot of experience. And also, once you put that on your resume and solicit to other vendors, they will quickly call you. And that's what happened with me. So, again, I'm working with that same analyst. I have another analyst. He found out about me. So now I'm working with another analyst with NeoCell, still with the original one. And I'm working on Navy cases. And there's other, and I'm working on other cases as well with another analyst. I will no longer do CBP.
Okay. I remember them very well
because of the money. I
remember
you guys,
them.
I want to warn people also when they especially working with that area CBP, the analysts are backed up. The analysts are backed up. So if they tell you, I'll give you, they're supposed to, once you submit your IPs, if you're on the external side, IPs, they're supposed to, I believe, within a week to return your work, if it's approved or not. They're not, they're backed up along with the agencies, as we know, the climate that we're in now. Many of the agencies, I received, like I had original, I think I'm on my 4th POC for 2 different agencies because people keep moving. And that's what the analysts are dealing with now. And they are also assigned cases as well. People need to realize the analysts, they have their own cases. They do help out as well. And also, of course, the contractors. So it's been 3 years now. It really has been 3 years I've been with the NeoCell. And and I will, even though despite the fees, the money, I will never relinquish NeoCell. I will always have it right there on the side. So
that's good. Yeah, they're
doesn't
steady.
seem like it's been that long, Rochelle.
It doesn't.
I know, it doesn't.
Yeah, they're steady cash flow. Yeah, they're steady cash flow. They are.
Yes, they are.
They are steady. So that's good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, let's see. I'm gonna the other veteran. Before I go to Felicia, Rochelle, you want me to share with them? You said you're planning on taking the paralegal certification. I got Susan on the call, so that's why.
Yes, that's fine. I decided to add more to my business and services, and I
Yeah.
have dealt, I mean, you guys know, some of you know that I believe in Wanda's previous meetings, that sometimes when you can deal with these cases, you have complainants who want an extension. You have complainants who want to withdraw later on or at the beginning, and that can really mess up your money flow. So, and then you have the amendments. Some agencies will stop the amendment and make the person, yes, and you have the amendments that occur. Some agencies will say, wait a minute, this is too many amendments. They will make the CP file a separate claim. Some will not. And I have to warn you, CDP, in my experience, I haven't dealt with that. I've just submitted a case that I was assigned 1 year ago.
Wow.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
Because there were so many amendments before I was assigned to it. And then after, and then I have to say with CBP, you have to look at their documents to make sure they have the amendments corrected, because there were 3 amendments that I wasn't aware of that wasn't on the correct letters that were sent to me and the analysts. And I caught it before I submit the case in. So it's finally submitted. But anyway, I am going to add paralegal studies. I am pursuing a paralegal certificate since I already have my degrees. And I realized paralegal, it's similar to what we're doing now. And I'm going to get my certificate through a local community college near my home in Southern California, and it's ABA. So I'm looking forward to that, and I researched more after I talked to Wanda that the federal government looking for that services, and then also other vendors are as well.
Exactly. Yeah, the government does. That's government contracting also. Susan, you'll wake up there in the corner. You like you sleep.
No, I'm awake. I'm here.
Okay. You must be reading something. You want any comments for Rochelle regarding paralegal, your background, because you started out as a paralegal, right?
I did. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I did that for many, many years as a lawyer. I would say go for it. It's very interesting, and I do think it helps when you look at this, because all of these cases really are there's legal precedents, there's all sorts of legalities involved, and of course the legal standards that you're looking to prove or disprove in terms of the investigation. So I think it'll be a great help. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it dovetails nicely with EEO, because EEO is legal. It really is.
Oh yeah,
so a lot of crossover there.
Yeah,
so
and
congratulations.
More I'm gonna say more of a consistent flow of income, because there's a lot of high demand paralegals, especially 100% online. You don't have to work in
That changed a lot. That really did after COVID. You're right. That did get into high gear. So more remote work, and the government does. I remember some of the paralegal contracts. So just like you work as an EEO contractor with various vendors, you can do the same thing for paralegal, just about anything, because the government buys it. So yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. All right. A couple of things I want to say. Rochelle mentioned these amendments. And I always tell people, okay, so from a legal business standpoint, there are things you can do to move those amendments along that I do as a vendor. Now, the Postal Service may not, but I do. I don't wait. I used to do that years ago. We used to do that. Oh my gosh, we would have cases. And look at Susan, we would have cases. I said it get into amendment hell. That's what it is, amendment hell. It just, and then after a while I said, okay, I need to think like a lawyer here. And I pushed back, because it's a legal, legal doctrine I use to back them up. And I told, because each amendment is a modification. And I'm like, okay, so pay me for the work that we've already done under the prior case. So you can pay me up to what the original agreement was, and then we can execute a new modification, and then you pay me when we finish that. But because if you don't negotiate, and I know, Regina, I think you took our course, we had the webinar on negotiating. If you don't negotiate, that's what they're going to tell you. That's just like, you have to wait to get paid, and different things and so forth, especially when it's a long time. Now, Postal Service, they're usually pretty good. I think they're about net 15 or something. But some of the others, I've heard horror stories. So you always, negotiate that up front. So I just wanted to share that real quick. And go ahead.
What I just said about my story is not all the time as far as CPs.
Right. We see it though. That's what I'm saying. We see it.
You see
Absolutely.
Me and Susan see it all the time.
Yeah.
We see. Yeah.
So for me, I haven't seen it all the time. I probably could count on like 1.5 hands that I have.
I've seen it
in my 3-year career. So so far.
Yeah. Some agencies, Josh, we had Energy. I think Energy had a lot of amendments. Dorian, you remember that? Dodea had a lot of amendments.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
We had a case go on for more than a year, and we managed to get the investigator paid at some intervals because it was crazy.
It was. Yep. Yeah.
It's some good money though. I have to say, even with NEOSO, if they
of course
amendments, it's some good money finally after a year, but
right.
You always have some other things
called managing the caseload. So yeah, you're right, man. Managing the caseload. So yeah. All right, Sister Felicia down there in Florida. How about you, girl? What you got to say?
Well, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to all of the people that have made it to this round.
Right.
I don't know what has already been said, so at the I'm afraid I might be a bit redundant. I just realized it's been a year since I've executed this contract. It's probably been one of the best things that I think has ever happened to me. It's definitely a learning experience. The training is super intense. I probably won't speak too much about that because I'm sure those that have gone through it have pretty much said it, and if you don't take anything else away about the training, I would say carve out the time to dedicate to that, because I remember when I was notified about that, I had not been on my job very long, and I depleted my PTO. I wiped it out, and I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, of course, but I wanted to make sure that I could be fully present in the moment and focused, and I think that really made the difference. In the year that I have been working with NEOSO, I too have only had external cases. I think the building block in the training, obviously, like I said, you're training on all of the Postal Service templates and all of that, and it's not necessary. It's definitely not a wasted effort, but definitely I will say working with the external agencies has taught me a lot. I just recently started with one that it's probably the first time, if I could give a case back, I would. I would give it back. But I know that I'm gonna learn a lot from it, but I am certainly dreading it. I will also echo the sentiments that having a good analyst also makes all the difference. My analyst, I remember he graded one of my assignments, and he is my analyst to this day. He's very responsive. I know they're really busy. There are only a handful of times that I've ever called him that he did not answer the phone, but he would respond in email and let me know, sorry, I couldn't answer. So, so building a good or having a good rapport with your analyst is key. And just time management is everything once you get beyond in the training and beyond, because I hear now there's like the ladies that have spoken prior talk about 5 cases. When I came in, it was only 3. They gave you 3 in training. And so that kind of speaks to, I guess, maybe the backlog. They're really trying to get you
Yeah.
going and maybe
Yeah,
even
the backlog.
increase the exposure on it. So
Mhm.
I don't know
Cases.
what questions I can answer. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I had 5 cases. I started before you, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had 3 in training.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not
Oh.
trying to blow a cover or anything. I can't say I was graded. I just, I will say this much because I was very nervous because I had heard, oh, you got to do this the sentiment that came from my analyst was, I want to help you succeed. We need, we want to keep you around. So I'm going to help you succeed. And I think the only thing was if they, they're going to, when you submit your IPs, and even your summary draft, they're going to send it back to you just like, when we went through the training with Wanda, if you did it, or even in the training, they're going to send it back with the feedback. If you pay attention to that, and not just apply it for that particular case, but moving forward, I think those are the things that possibly maybe get people, placed in a bad situation. You want to make sure that you're taking note of what's being said and implementing that forward. So I think that is the biggest thing. But yeah, I hope to I can't remember who said it, but if Neoso is around, so am I. Because now the only other thing that I will say in hindsight, is my nature. I've always kind of been real ambitious towards, building things and the cash flow situation starting out is a little bit slow. So plan for that. And so whatever you have to keep in mind, whatever your goals are for doing this, just keep in mind, we've talked about amendments and cases dragging on longer. The good news is once you submit your invoice, it will be paid within 15 days. But one of my very first cases, it took close to 90 days to close, because RMOs want extensions and things are slow, and even now with everything that's going on in the federal workforce, things are moving a little bit slow. The other day I sent an email to a witness, and I got an out of office email that said I've been forked.
Fork. Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah, she got the fork in the road email. So
fork.
so I would just
that's what they call it, forked. Oh, gosh.
That's what she called it. She said she's been forked, and I do not have her affidavit.
Oh,
well.
But
I will say, just keep that in mind.
That's a different day.
With regard to, the cash flow situation, the money is there, is good money, but it might be slow. So just other than that,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
good luck.
We've all been kind of dealing with that. I've been it's like I balance as soon as I'm working on a project or something. I'm like, okay, I said, okay, I sent that to him. Who knows when it shows up? I said, but I pay. If it's net 30, I'm gonna pay you. I just have to ride it out. I may not pay myself, during that period, and I stay on the agency. I'm like, look, you got to get this thing paid, but I do. I stay on them. I'm like, I got to get in here. I can't do any more work. I need money. And, but I'm dealing directly, with procurement and stuff. But yeah, it's of course, it's the transition of the new people in. I can't say most transitions are this slow. You had a lot of disruption with this one. So I think that's why, but but they're about to get very, very busy because you got this huge backlog. And October 1st is quickly, or September 30th is quickly approaching. That's the end of the fiscal year, which means the government the agency have to spend down their budgets, so if they don't, they lose money. So it's going to be very busy. This is going to, a very busy season. So get ready for that. A couple of questions. I know Rochelle got her hand up. Sabrina, I saw your question. You said, do they have different pay rates? Where is she? Oh, here it is. Oh, do contractors pay various rates? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It depends on the contract and how we negotiated it. But yes, we absolutely do. Postal Service, they tell you up front what their rates are. They're non-negotiable. And like I said, because they do a lot of training, they provide a lot of the free training. So Can you use AI note taker while going through the training? Probably no. Any answers to that, you guys, before I go to Rochelle? Can you use AI note taker?
I'm not sure. I mean, I just, because
Rashida?
everything is
It's
right
on their
after
system.
another.
Yeah, it's on their system, right?
It's on, yeah, it's a Zoom meeting, and so
Yeah.
it's really, you write notes, and
Probably
they have,
not.
and they send you
Well,
their
they didn't say
PowerPoint
it.
and everything too.
They
So
send you their PowerPoint. Yeah, they're
yeah,
probably not, because of security reasons. I'd be surprised if they allow you to do that. They send you the information, but I don't see them allowing you to AI or something like that. And you have to be careful with AI, which we'll talk about in our refresher training we're recording next week, when you're doing this stuff, because we have a lot of private information, and you have to be careful, you know, how you use that. Certainly can't throw it out there in Chat GPT, because that's a, you know, public domain thing. And so yeah, and the agencies now have, you know, contracts in the statement of work. I know they have some requirements in there, so you have to watch that. Yeah. Rochelle, you had your hand up for a while. You want to comment?
Well, I just want to ask the question, if who are the trainers in the NEOSO training? Is there a person who's said he's been there for 40 years and he has an earring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
she said yes.
So he didn't take the okay. All right.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. But
Probably
he is the one that's just training. Okay, about him too. You got it. This is what I experienced in the last training. He gives a lot of information, but I know on one occasion he gave certain instructions for homework, and then the next day when we went to go check the homework, he gave additional instructions, and it was too late. Like, you didn't give those instructions yesterday, so now we got grades that wasn't all the way proper because you didn't give all the instructions.
he did
yes,
the same
I
thing
think
to
it
us. He
was.
did the same thing to us. And
Thank
we
you.
When we had to do the one of the affidavits. We did affidavit or the ROI, something like that, and we did it. He did not tell us that when we got it back, there would be feedback, and we had to correct that feedback before we did the next day's homework. So it was like, so when I did my next days, I still had some of the errors from the day before, because and I was like, you didn't tell us, it wasn't in there. When I went in, I emailed the night before, nothing. So
exact same thing, an exact same thing. It was with the affidavits.
yes,
With the affidavit, all of us called them. Well, a couple of us did. Me being vocal, I did, and it caused our grades to be lower. So I pushed for it, and then they even Jennifer, I believe she's still on there, is one of the trainers. She also told him he was wrong in front of all of us, and then it came back after our lunch, and then it said that they were going to change the grades. So hopefully he is not your analyst, because I know a couple of people under him as analysts. There's a lot of games that were played, and made them to do 6 or 7 cases instead of the typical 5, and all of a sudden they weren't there.
Wow.
So I'm not trying to scare you, but if you are assigned to that analyst, hopefully you're not, and you can request another one if you want. So it's up to you, but definitely I know him, and if you get a lower grade than you anticipate in another assignment, that means he graded it, and you can fight for that as well.
Thank you for saying that.
I'm sorry, Rashida.
Yeah, we found out the background of that person, and it's one of those who unfortunately the characteristic of what they say a federal governor or a governor worker is unfortunately that's
that person. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so just letting you know, and
There's also
don't feel like you're not doing well or anything because he says no, that's not true. So you definitely go to one of the other ones.
Cool.
There's one other aggressive instructor. She was the IT person. She is very aggressive.
She has blonde hair.
Yes.
She just doesn't have any clues. I mean, she really doesn't. She's actually nice. Tell you the truth. For one, she's actually nice, because I'm like, is she a is she drinking before she came? So that's why I asked
she was like, get your do not use your personal computer, get your other, this, that, and the other. And then they had a guy that used to be a postal worker, and he's a contractor. And honestly, some of the stuff he contradicted her, and he was like, you don't need to do all this. You don't need to get a high-end computer. Just get something $300-400, stuff like that. So
yeah.
Excuse me, you guys. Hold up for a second. Who's 219-308-492? I don't know who this is. I don't see who this is. Who are you? 219-308-0492. Who's that? Because I like to see who's on here. Put in waiting room. I don't know who this is. Identify yourself. I'm gonna move you to the I'm gonna remove you. Who's this? No, I'm gonna remove you. Ask to unmute. Okay. Did they jumped off? Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, because I wanted to see who that was. They jumped off. I'm gonna find that number. I'll call them when we get finished. Yeah. They had they joined us and then they disappeared. Let me see. Yep. Okay. They better be legit. I said, I'm gonna track you down. As soon as this is over. Yeah. So this is only for, just so you guys know, this is only for our people in our network. So I'm not gonna put it to the public. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So anyway, you can go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's I would just.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. For some reason, it muted everybody. Oh, okay. I don't know why I did that. You guys there?
I'm here. Okay.
Okay, Corinne, go ahead.
The computer lady, she was aggressive, but she was just very, out there. So it could put some people off, but if you just pay attention, she's just doing her job, but she was very, very aggressive. And then they had someone that spoke that's a contractor that used to and has been with them for 6 years, and he talked about how much he made his first year, his second year, his third year, and how his income increased and stuff like that.
Cool.
But it is good training. It's just
it is good training. Yeah,
and
it is.
Actually prepared me for some of my other work that I've been doing, because I put that knowledge in, and I was not expecting what I got for my first case. It was with the Navy, and the lady was the complainant was the one that was driving me crazy. And I never expected. So it's like I was lessons learned. So like when my second one, with another vendor, the complainant was also, but what I learned is that you have to move as soon as you get the case, you have to move fast. So because this person was a contract specialist, a procurement specialist, and he said he had fired that company before. He said there was a conflict or what have you. So I had to send all that information. So they reassigned the case from the company to another company. So all I got was 30%. So you have to move fast if they decide to cancel the case or whatever, because if I didn't do what the legwork I did, I wouldn't have gotten paid at all. So they give you based on, so they say as soon as you get the IP approved, you get that first interview scheduled, that affidavit, because as much written work you get done, that's how much you get paid if for some reason the case gets dropped or transferred to somebody else.
You're right.
See, I did a whole case, and the person took that what is that that retirement package the federal government was giving out.
The deferred resignation plan.
Yes. And everything was done. I submitted it. I hadn't submitted to the analyst yet for review, and I told them I'm sending it tonight, and I sent it, and then we received that email from the agency. This is with GSA. And the analyst told me that originally, even though the case was already done in draft mode, they were only going to give me 30%. And he fought for at least 50. So he said since it wasn't submitted to the agency, I would have received 100%. So you do have a right, even I had a good analyst, that was my first analyst from the very beginning. I have a really good one. He fought for me to at least get the 50%. And I didn't even know. I was told I was going to get the whole thing since I did the draft. But you do have a right to speak up. And if you don't feel this is right for the fee is not correct, you talk to your analyst. The analyst will, if you have a good one, will vouch for you to the manager and let them know this is the work you've done, etc.
Yeah,
don't
that's
always settle for something if you don't feel that's incorrect.
Right.
So,
you do have to speak up. That's certainly true. Yeah.
I just did a case now that I'm waiting to see how much they're going to pay, and it wasn't finished, but I had done a lot of work on it because the complainant was very, very uncooperative. And then he took, in case you don't understand, at least some of the agencies will tell you that if a person takes a deferred resignation, then they're not allowed to have any outstanding actions against the agency. So if they've got an EEO complaint active or a grievance or anything, they have to abandon their rights to that. Now, we have other agencies that are not doing it that way, but this was one in particular that was the problem. So,
oh, wow.
And it just shows you how the different vendors pay, because one of my other vendors here, I have the one that pays exceptionally well. But it's just they pay slow. But anyway, how they process it. But anyway, their IP, I had 2 cases of the complainant withdrawn their cases. And then the IP was only done like the IP and the affidavits, and I got 30%. So you see, versus with Neoso, they talking about the draft was already completed and only 30%. And I had to fight, my analyst had to fight at least get half. So that's why I said that Neoso, great experience and everything in the piece, but definitely have a vendor or 2 on the side that pays.
Yeah, definitely. That is true. And then because with the other vendors and then with Neoso too, because they're just like us, they are prime contractors. So they, based on their statement of work or their negotiated contract, that's what tells you what you get. So like when we have contracts, most of the time they have a provision in there and it will state, this is what you get at this stage, this stage, this stage. If they don't have it, then I'm going to argue and I'm going to say, this is what I came up with. This is my, this is how I structured it. And so I send it to them. Most of the time they do not object to it. They go along with it. So, because we had like a mediation that happened with, it didn't take place. And so we negotiated. I said, okay, let's see, it's about a third. This person talked to such and such. So I did about a third of the cost, So yeah, it's negotiable. It's definitely negotiable. You guys see on the screen, I just wanted to share some comments from Laura. Laura made it through with, I think she's prior to Corinne. Yeah, she's prior to Corinne. I think she was last year. So she's just getting her cases. So she said her suggestions are connect with others who are doing investigations, especially if you're working through Neoso. Do not forget to ask to be added to the Neoso email group if your analyst does not automatically get you added. The first year of this can be tough, especially if you're working with outside agencies that all have different protocols. And we talked about that, which is true because you're, different styles. Be prepared to ask lots of questions. If Neoso assigns you to external agencies, this is especially true. Yep, it is. As soon as you find out who your analyst is, ask them the best way to reach them with questions. You don't want to be sitting around waiting for a response to a question for a week or longer, but it does happen. The specific details for how each agency approaches investigations can be overwhelming to keep track of when you are new to this work. The analyst seems to have huge caseloads, so they may not always remember to tell you when one agency does something differently than another or has a different form that they like. Ask questions, okay? The process can be very slow for weeks, and then you are swamped. So feast or famine is what we call it. So stay organized at all times. Organize your files. Use appropriate naming conventions. Summarize testimony as you go. That's a very good point. And begin organizing the ROI as soon as you have the documents to do so. Other investigators tell me that it takes about a year or 10 plus investigations under your belt to feel like you know how to manage the caseload. I did not think this was going to be the case, but I believe it now. So that's from Laura. That's pretty good comments there. Yeah, and that's the thing you guys are going through. So, okay, all right, and let me stop sharing. There we go. Yep, those are pretty good comments. Couple questions in the chat. Let's see here. Sabrina wanted to know about how do you negotiate for amendments. We have a webinar that we recorded, but we went through that, citing the chapter and verse that you use to negotiate for amendments. As I said, the thing I will say, everything's negotiable. It really is. It's like Rochelle said, you're still negotiating. When you're pushing back and say, hey, I did this, you're negotiating. Just like what Susan said, you know, I did this, I did the draft. That's negotiations. This is government contracts is business. It's business, straight up business. So you're always negotiating. You're always negotiating. And it's the way that you do it. And you learn to become a savvy negotiator. That's what this whole thing is. I do more negotiating than anything else. And so that's what you're learning when you start to do this. You'll find when you go to the grocery store, now you won't stand there and haggle with people, but you'll know pricing better. And you'll say, I'm not going to pay that for that because I know such and such. But it does help you a lot. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. The other question. Okay. She recently became certified. What's the best way to get experience? It's just like what we said here. The best way to get experience, Postal Service is excellent because they offer the free coaching pretty much. Once you start working with them, somebody said, Rashida said, like she learned some stuff from the training that she just applied to another case. So you can take that experience and parlay that into other projects. And so when you're reaching out to the other vendors, you let them know, hey, I'm working with the Postal Service. So they're like, okay, good. She's getting some training or whatever. So that's a good way to get your foot in the door. And then after you start building it up more, you can get your own contracts. We show you how to do that as well. You know, so because there's a lot of work out here for us. I know recently they've been using GSA a lot. That's like, you know, when you get up to that point, you can get the GSA schedule, you do it. If not, you know, you can work under somebody that has a GSA schedule. Let's see. Can you provide? Okay, have somebody else comment, Susan?
No, I was going to make a comment on that about ways to get experience too. There are some agencies, if you're working with them, they'll ask for writers. And you may not think that's really interesting at first, but then here's what happens. If you're a writer, you get to see what that investigator asked. You get to see how the people answered. You get to summarize it. And you find out many times what are good questions, what elicits the answers, that the information you're going for. So I wouldn't overlook an opportunity to write, because you don't have to figure out anything. All you have to do is summarize what was said, but it gives you so much more information on how to conduct a case. It may be worthwhile to think about that.
Yeah.
And may I ask, and also that I got my first experience prior to Minyoso training. I was certified, and that's because I have background in human resources. So that vendor tied that in and became an investigator, and it was good experience. And everything I received from Preempt, I just applied it, and then finally I had my training while I was in my second case with that vendor as well, and they helped me enhance my knowledge. So it depends on your background as well. So I just say just go for it. You just never know.
Yeah.
As long as you're certified.
And as I always remind people, always go back to the legal standards for what you're trying to work with, because if you get stumped or you really don't know what direction you need to go, that's a good place to get the information. What are you trying to establish when you do the investigation? So just always keep that in the back of your mind is a good way to jumpstart you again.
And another thing too that Susan hit on here for the people that are about to go through the intense training, practice, practice, practice on the training that you went through with us. Make sure you practice that, know all the theories of discrimination. If you haven't done the Adobe training course or whatever, we got that online. I think it's $199, but I always give you $20 off coupon for $179. But you have to know Adobe code like that, because you got to be able to move, upload those documents, move, everything, and know where to find things. So Susan did a training. We did a training in that. So make sure you're prepared to do the Adobe part. Go back over your notes from Dorian, study those, because she gives you great feedback. Because you're going to see it again. The thing about it, you're going to have to be able to think on your feet. So when they give you scenarios and things, you're going to have to apply that knowledge that you've learned. So that's always good to do. Yeah. And like Rashida said, it helped too, because she was already doing some work before she started this, before she went through the training. So it's it's very helpful to practice a lot. Let's see, one more, FAD training. Oh, Rashida, yeah, you can email me. I'll send you the link to the FAD training. Felicia and Regina completed our FAD. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you sure did.
How long do you have to write FADs, and do we have to talk to people?
No, you don't. It's a dead record. You just
That's what I need, because I don't want to talk to these people.
Yeah, if you're a pretty good writer, Regina, she's been doing them for a while. And Felicia, did you start doing some with Postal yet?
I did. I've done 2 so far, and
all right.
And they I remember the analyst that I spoke with, because they kind of do a little training with you on that as well, and she said, even if you find that you don't like it, to echo Susan's point, she said, even if you find that you don't like it, it will make you a better investigator.
It does.
Because
Absolutely.
I think the first thing that I picked up on when I saw it, I was looking at the way the case that I was writing for looked in comparison to mine. And I was like, wow. And it just kind of made me nervous, because it really brought full circle what you're doing and how important it is, because it comes down to that moment. So yeah,
that Felicia started, okay, she took our course, so I know ours was more intense than Postal. So I know you breezed through theirs, right?
Well,
you should have.
Well, your training was, I mean, it was different types.
Yeah.
Because you were pouring in the knowledge, so to speak, and then that training was more from the perspective of, this is how we do it.
Right.
And they provide a lot of information. They provide a lot of templates. You'll love the templates in the Postal Service. They have templates. I know,
because their templates are shorter. I know they are. Yeah, they have a lot of templates. They do. Yeah, they sure do. Yeah,
and I'll just add just real quick that for me, all of it really adds a lot of experience for all of the different areas.
Yes, it does.
I started out as a counselor, and I still do a lot of counseling. And what I realize is that while I'm counseling, I'm also keeping that investigator in mind as well. So I'm making sure that I'm gathering enough information to help that investigator, because how great is it when you get a case as an investigator and you've got like half the document already there because the counselor gathered the information for you. So that's very helpful. Also, so I do the counseling part, then I do the investigation part in the middle, and then I ended up with the FAD writing. So all of them hand in hand really help each other and help you to be great in all areas.
That is so true. That's so true. And we do offer the courses for all those. I mean, the training for all that. The thing Felicia say, as a matter of fact, that last refresher we did is called FAD Proofing Your Investigations. So for this refresher, we're doing, what is it? Counselor. Anyway, it's the counselor. No, the investigator, something like that. But anyway, counseling proof the investigation or something like that. But anyway, so because you have to see it from both angles, and it does make you a better EEO professional, period. That's what it does. You should be well-rounded, because a lot of people always jump in and do investigations. And so people say, hey, I want to be an investigator. I want to be an investigator. But you don't understand how the whole process works, the counseling. And so we say, hey, if you had the time, it's worth the investment to take the other courses so that you understand the role that they all play into this. So yeah, that is great. Yeah. So another question was, Sabrina wanted to know, can you provide what's the average pay for completing investigations? What is postal? 1,100, 1,200?
14.
14.
No,
14.
it's 14.
14.
Okay, thank you.
And if you get
Yeah.
an
But
agreement, depends on what
it depends.
agency. You could go up
Yeah.
to there's 2,000. And I'll say I worked on a case and I got 3,000 one time.
How much?
3,000 I got for it.
3,000.
It had about a few amendments, but
Okay.
it
And I
depends.
so
Yeah.
I was laughing
Yep.
when you were talking about negotiating.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
there's a backlog. My analyst I was asking him a question, and he mentioned that he had some cases that he was having a hard time assigning. So he took out all of the names, just kind of sent me a little snapshot of the cases and what they paid. And I looked at them and I was choosing based off of workload. And so I told him which one I wanted. And so he enacted his negotiating power and was like, well, could I entice you to take the older one if I paid X? And so he upped the pack.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That's right. That's right. That's how you learn. That's right. You all know. You all are going to be, you're business people. You learn how to negotiate and everything. That's what this is about. You just don't, because I hear people all the time, oh, they pay X. I said, well, did you negotiate it? No. I said, okay, well, if you don't negotiate, you're going to get what you get, So yeah, it is. It's a lot of negotiation in what we do. So yeah. All right. So I think I got everybody's questions. Yep, in the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys just what we got coming up, and let's see, then we're done for today. Okay, here it is, the newsletter. There we go. Okay, so of course you guys know this is today about the about the celebration. And of course, congratulations to Tia, Regina, and Danny that made it through the first part. Yeah. And also, just so that you guys know, I don't know how many people read the newsletter, but we do have a BOGO promotion. So those of you that are getting ready to go to the next part, I think some of you guys already took the hands-on coaching, but you need to do the Adobe one. So I'll knock something $20 off that. Okay, but make sure you know how to do that. We've got our Candid Conversations coming up, our Business Legal Eagles. That's going to be my girl, Janice. That's my tag team attorney. So we're looking forward to that. And these are some of the, things we're going to talk about: mentor protege agreements, independent contractors, lawsuit preemption strategies, et cetera, government contracting concerns, et cetera. We're going to have a networking session for our EEO investigators. That's going to be on April the 30th, the day after my birthday. And actually, Brenda's birthday is the 23rd. So we are the April babies. Yes, yes.
April 29th as well.
When is it, Rochelle?
My aunt's is April 29th as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay, cool. Yep. So, for that networking session, we're going to talk about some things, the good, bad, and ugly of being an investigator, experiences. Those are always good because people share good information. In case you missed some other events, these are the links here. You can go click on those and review them on Zoom. We know it's tax time. For those of you that missed the tax presentation, it was excellent because my accountant and CPA, Earl, talked about how you get paid, the difference between being paid as an LLC versus a corporation. And that was key. That was really good. So we do have a new certification course. It's the 32-hour HR investigation certification. We revamped this. It was formerly management inquiry, but we wanted to create something that's like a hybrid between the counselor and the investigator, but informal. That's what this thing is. So we'll be rolling that out actually by next week. Okay. And then we have our new refresher coming up. We call it the Counselor and Investigator Crossover Refresher. And so we're going to talk about investigation proof your counselor's report. That's what I was trying to say. Do's and don'ts of AI chat GPT for EEO pros, case law updates, and dealing with obnoxious lawyers, representatives, caseload management, and more. Okay. And Garrison did fill that position, the digital file assembly person. So we're so glad about that. And that's about it. If you guys have any, I think everybody in this call is certified. So if you guys have any positive comments that you want to share with us, please feel free to send them to you. Send them to us, Send them to me. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to run through that with you guys, just so that you would have that. Because I know sometimes you guys don't look at the newsletter. So I said, I'll make sure they see it this time. All right. You got any questions before we close out? All right. So now Danny and who else? Danny and Teresa. Teresa, I didn't mention your name in a shout out. I have to mention you in the next one. I don't know how I missed that. I think you came in later. So I'll make sure I put your name in the next one. Let's see. Which training are you guys going to take? Because I know they gave you 2 choices, I believe, for the intense training.
They have not. They haven't told us what the dates are yet.
Oh, they haven't told you the dates yet.
Yeah, the way that they positioned it is the first 25 people who pass, all of the clearance and the background check get the first class, and then and we're just now getting all that information.
Okay, cool.
The clearance, the background check.
Okay, so that's the drug and fingerprints?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, drug, fingerprints, and SF85P, is that it?
I think so far it's just been, the clearance and the drug. Yeah.
Yeah, SF85P. That's that questionnaire they had you fill out with all the questions. Did you fill that out? Did you guys do that?
No, we didn't get that.
We haven't done that.
Maybe they got rid of that. I don't know.
No,
maybe they do something different.
we got that after class, and it's it is a lot of it's slow. It says it takes an hour and a half. No, it takes about 4 hours because it was slow loading up the next pages.
So I see.
They say it's like 95 pages. Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Shoot, that's just the 80. That's just
and it
the
goes
85.
back. You have to go back 7 years.
Right, 7.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's just the 85P. I did the SF86 because I had a secret clearance, but
me too.
Yeah. But the fastest way to do it, I've learned, is to get your credit report.
It's an idea.
Yeah. They don't kick you out if your credit isn't good, but I mean, it has all the information in there, places you live and everything. So it just makes it easier to do it that way. Yeah. All right, my friends, if you need if you have any other questions, let us know. We wish you all well. We know you're going to do well. Just like we said, just prepare, just practice, and just go back through and listen to the part 1 in the portal. You should still have access. So just make sure that's tight and you're writing and Adobe, and I think you'll be ready to lock and load. All right, you guys. All right, you guys take care. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.